trying to be really, really structured with the approach that I take with the calls and making sure we're hitting all the points in that order and saying the exact things in that order. It's not that at all. For me, it's, um, building rapport in the beginning and, being yourself, being a human and letting people see that. And then just making sure you're hitting those big points of creating the gap of where they are now and where they want to be and making sure that they're aware of that and you get that out of them. They oftentimes they'll do it themselves because they're very self-aware like you were. And then it's just, yeah, just talking through what they want and just conveying that you can help them bridge that gap. That's essentially what the script is doing. So yeah, what I was saying is don't necessarily think going into your first calls when they come around for you, hopefully quite soon, don't think that you need to be like, like here's what I say next and this is what I say next, because it's just going to get a bit robotic. And then just get used to implementing those elements where you can in a more natural flow. And then I think over time, eventually, and this is giving advice to myself basically when I say this, because this is exactly what I'm doing at the moment. Over time, it's going to start to come together and it's going to feel very easy to run through that structure. But I definitely get wayward when I'm talking about stuff, because I just like talking to people and like helping with their problems on the calls. Like if someone says something, I immediately go into coach mode and I want to try and give some advice, even if it's only a little bit of advice on the call. And it's, in my opinion, it's fine to do that because it just all adds to the relationship building and the rapport that you're building. So yeah, the only point I'm making here is that don't get too stressed about doing it perfect right away. Definitely, have you had a chance to run through it and maybe edit it for your business at all? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's all practice. It's all practice. So the place where I actually got that script from, they said to, book calls with other people in the community and do dry runs of it and all stuff like that. I didn't bother with that myself, but it's all about practice basically. So you're doing the right thing in that sense. I think the place now where you want to be more confident is when you transition to telling people what you do and how you help them and what your offer is basically. Because that's the point. You could have them completely hooked, but if that does not connect with what they want or how they want it to go, then it's always going to be a struggle to make that sale. So that's the first thing I would say to really hone in on and practice first, and maybe expand on what I wrote in that document for the offer. I think it's from step 10 onwards or 12 onwards. I forget now. Um, but making sure that, yeah, you're confident with telling them how you're going to help them and like the specifics behind that so that they can have confidence in you and your ability to actually get them a result. No, these are always pretty, I mean, these are always pretty free flowing. I know my stuff. I believe I know how to solve the problems that you have. So there's no script. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And it helps as well that I previously made a product on it. I created a course about it first. So I've spent that time really going through my framework and my way of working with someone and getting the results. So again, it's all there. But if you want to do that with your clients, then absolutely do that. If you go into a call and you think, oh crap, I don't actually know what process I need to take them through, spend 30 minutes before sometime before a call and just write down the specific things that you want to help them in that session. And to be honest, we did do that in the first and second sessions when we were going through like the customer avatar and really starting to dive into the offer. I had a structure that I was following. It wasn't a script, but it was a structure that I was following. So you can definitely do that. Yes. Yeah, I think make it very simple for people, and it's that what you just described there is, and we might have spoke about this before, but that's essentially what I decided to do at the start of this year. It was because I had another business, and I've made courses and been successful in that business. I thought I know how to do courses. I can just put a course together, and it's all going to be successful. What I didn't realize was how much more difficult it would be to get traffic to something like that, and to make sales with something like that. So first, I wanted to figure out, okay, let's use this format to one, bring in some income and actually have a real business here, but two, to really figure out who I want to help and where I want this business to go, because it can be very fluid, because we're not actually doing the stuff that, or specifically the stuff that I was teaching in that course of course creation. We haven't even talked about that. That might come in the future, but right now I'm helping you do the same thing of starting a business, and I have the skills to be able to do that. So as I get more and more clients, it's going to be figuring out what this business is, and that is what's then going to turn into the next high ticket signature offer, which will be more one to many than one to one. And that will bring in, probably just thinking broadly of what you were just talking about, probably 80% of the business's revenue will come for that one thing. And then later on, if you want to, you can add different products and expand or whatever you want to do. But lots and lots of people, excuse me, are very, very successful with one product, just going all in with that one product and selling that one thing. So yeah, totally agree with that. Mm, mm. Okay, so go on, go ahead. Yeah, yeah. The call definitely didn't go beat for beat what you see there, because we can talk and we kind of go on tangents a little bit, which is fine. Um, but again, it's all about bringing out those core things of getting people to explain where they are, where they want to be, and then correctly communicating that you can help them close that gap. Was there is there any other context to what he said? Or did he just say? Did he say he's interested? Did he say? And that was after you invited him onto a call or to book a call with you. Yeah. Yeah, I would message him next week because he's probably just busy this week. And in fact, when did you send the message? Or when? Yeah, so he's probably got plans for these last 2 days of the week, and he's just doesn't want to think about it this week. So I would message him on Monday, so that Monday morning, so that he can look ahead and try and fit you in somewhere. But yeah, just follow up and you don't need to overcomplicate it. Just say, just following up with you after our last message. Would love to have a chat with you about how I can help you achieve X, Y, and Z. How's this week looking for you? When can we get on a call? Yeah, but I would, yeah, just on that, just cut yourself some slack in the beginning because it's going to take some time for you to really get that confidence. But we can only get that confidence by taking the actions and consistently practicing doing it with real people. So that's the same thing for us both. Like I've still got a long way to go to be where I want to be with having these calls, um, but we can only start from where we are. So yeah, and at that point, it's just a numbers game because with every call, you're going to get better at speaking to people and conveying what you want to convey, and then your conversion rates will just go up and up. And yeah, so when you say you've got because for this call, just to be clear, for this call, what I thought we could do is one, talk about the script and if there's anything that you feel you want help with or to go through yourself about what you might want to say. And then also off the back of that, because I can't see that taking too long, maybe looking at your network right now and the best ways that you can leverage and get people onto calls right now. Yeah. 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 Realizing that the world doesn't end when someone says no or someone tells you to fuck off. Right. It might sting at the beginning. And it was hard for me because, again, being transparent here, like I want people to like me. So I don't like it when someone says something bad about me or tells me to F off or whatever. But the more you do it, you realize actually it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Yeah. And I'm learning it now on LinkedIn where like I'm sending lots of DMs to people now where I was just afraid to do that before. And I always wanted to be an inbound marketer wherever everyone was coming to me. But then you've got to, with this kind of stuff, you've got to be proactive. So yeah, like I say, and at that point, it's just a numbers game if you're taking those actions. So with the script itself, as in once you get people onto a call, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like you need any help with that or anything you want to run through with that in particular? Yeah. Mm, mm. Yeah, I think this is why, just going slightly off topic here, this is why becoming that expert and starting to layer in, rather than just doing the videos you're doing now, starting to create the more simple videos of you just helping estate agents or whoever. I mean, I know you don't want to become the person that just helps estate agents, but I feel like with the kind of numbers you're talking about, you could do very well just with estate agents at this point in time. Um, Starting to layer in like different types of content so that people see you as that expert, because it makes a massive difference. And you are the prime example of that, where you said to me that you was pretty much already sold before we'd even got on a call, because you could see what I was talking about. You wanted the same result. You liked me as a person and the way I spoke about things. And it just makes it so much easier rather than just going to people cold. So that's obviously part of our marketing strategy, and it's something that I'm doing too, like the cold outreach and that kind of stuff. But having that, thinking longer term, having that vehicle to warm people up without you having to do anything and getting them on calls already pre-sold in you as a person and what you're doing, that's just massive. Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, like, I would say focus is so crucial in all of this, in terms of keeping your mind free of stuff that doesn't need to be in there, so that you can be comfortable just focusing on this one thing. Like, yes, there are opportunities for you later to expand into different niches, to expand into different products. But even if for the rest of this year, all you do is focus on selling this offer to this group of people, you're probably going to do very well. And at that point, because especially, and I say very well because I know what you said before about, one or two clients a month would be massive for you. Just from what I've seen so far, that doesn't feel like it's very far away. So if if you could do that, and then by the end of the year, then you can say, okay, what do we want to do for 2023? And if you can see a lot more untapped potential and you're happy with the workload, just keep doing that and just maybe try and sign three clients a month, whatever it is. And because you might just, I don't know what type of person you are, but I'm definitely reaching a point. Like when I was younger, I was like, I want to make millions and millions. Now I'm like, I don't need that much money. Yeah. And the reason why I bring that up is because, again, you might get to next year just focusing on this one thing and realize that, you can do this for a good few years yet, and you don't need to worry about anything else. And once you've got your systems in place and you're really good on the calls and you've got your processes set up with how you work with clients, you might really be able to start to scale back how much you actually work. And all of a sudden you're only working 10 hours a week. Yeah, yeah. So it's interesting because I haven't reached the number yet where I think this is too much. It's a little different now because I'm kind of just giving people any time that they need because I want to get people results because this is quite a new thing. But I feel like, I don't know, signing, bearing in mind it's the 3 month period, so they're going to overlap. If I'm signing three a month, three, four a month, then we're looking at potentially working with 12 people over the course of a month again, because I'm signing three every month or four every month. Yeah. I feel like that would be doable. Like just to have 12 client calls a month, maybe more if we're trying to squeeze some together. That's not that difficult. Yeah. Yeah. So again, the first question was, are you okay with the script and do you want any help with that? If not, then maybe we can just talk about um, your existing network and how you can leverage that right now to get as many calls as possible in the next few weeks. Yeah. Excellent. So you said that you've got plenty of people to be contacting. Is that just through WhatsApp? Mm, wow. And do you think all of those businesses are still active or the numbers still active? I suppose you don't know until you. Mm. I think just, yeah, just what you're doing at this point. I mean, we can talk about where else you've got attention for sure. Mm. And are these all estate agents? Okay, so I think it's fine for this because the um you've already got the people there, so it doesn't matter if they're not estate agents at this point. I don't think. I still think for your wider persona, your online persona, your personal brand, let's say, that probably needs to be estate agents because you're trying to capture people's attention. But in this case, they aren't those people. So for these people, are you just approaching it just purely to help them get leads? Mm, yeah. No, I agree with that. Okay, so um, are these literally just phone numbers in an address book? I might need to enable you to do that. 1 second. Okay, go ahead. So if it's just names and numbers, the message needs to be pretty universal, then, doesn't it? Okay, so okay, I wonder if we could possibly change the beginning. So you said you've been on my message list for a while, something like that. Was that it? Um, Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. If it makes more sense to do it that way, that's absolutely fine. Um, yeah, the only thing I was thinking, because obviously we're trying to find a universal message that sounds okay. So I'm thinking something like um so the most of these contacts, they contacted you as a buyer of a property or a seller as a property. Okay, I'm just gonna type something out just to get it up, try and get it out of my head. Will you personalize people's names every time? Yeah, I think if you could just say like hi and leave it blank and then just change the name each time, it's going to take you like 5 seconds at most. Yeah. Do you do you think that you would need to reintroduce yourself? Yeah. Mm, so you're sending them what you're saying in the video exactly. Just oh, okay, okay. Mm, yeah, I'm just thinking how effective those are. You just sending them to a YouTube video? I'm wondering, and are you getting responses to those or no? Yeah. And how many messages have you sent so far? Okay. Okay, that's definitely not enough to judge it yet. I'm just thinking if there's a slightly better way to do it. That, to be honest, the very best way would be to shoot a video for every single one of these. Yeah, so you could. What I might try first, just because I think it'll be slightly easier, is I was going to say an audio note, a video, voice note through WhatsApp. But then if someone's just seeing, because when you see a voice note pop up, all you see is the timeline, and they're not going to listen to it if there's no context. Um, yeah. Um, I just haven't. Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah, I think if you're sending text, it needs to be short and sweet. I mean, yeah, the way that I would probably prefer to start with this, and I think you could do 5 a day without too much trouble, is to do a video for each one of these, as in a personalized video straight in WhatsApp. Um, just saying the same thing to everyone, and maybe throwing in some stuff to show that. Well, obviously you're going to say their name, so that in itself shows that it's personal. Um, But if it's just a pretty short and sweet script, it's not going to take you that much more time. But I feel like that's going to give you a better chance of actually getting a reply than just sending a text message or a text message and a link to a YouTube video. Mm. No. When you get negative comments, my first thought is, it's something in them that they don't like that is causing them to say that. So it's oftentimes I'll just feel sorry for them. Yeah, it's going to be more time consuming. But again, I think if you are doing, let's say, 5 a day, it shouldn't take you more than, like, the video shouldn't be more than a minute long. Well, originally I was thinking you would just copy and paste text and just change the name, but I think yeah, it's people know that you've taken effort to send a video because as soon as you say their name in the beginning, they know it's for them. So they know that you've taken the time to send that video to that one person. And on top of that, obviously, they're seeing your face, they're seeing your temperament, they're seeing who you are as a person. They're going to be more likely to listen, but it can't be long. So if you're doing something that's a minute long, um, it shouldn't take you more than, well, in the beginning, it's going to take longer because you might have to redo it and redo it. I don't know what the options like in WhatsApp. If you're sending a video directly in WhatsApp, do you have an option to delete it and try again once you've recorded it? I suppose, and actually, I suppose you could just shoot. What do you have an Android phone or an iPhone? I suppose you can just actually thinking about it. I suppose you don't need to record it straight in WhatsApp. You could just do it on your normal camera and then just pull the video in afterwards. So, do you have the option to delete that before you send it? Okay, yeah. So you could do it straight in because if you made a mistake, you could just stop, press back, go again, yeah, and then just send it. Send it. I think yeah, under your contact, it will say recording video or something like that. But that doesn't matter because they're not going to be looking at your profile. No, it just says you're online. It doesn't say you're recording a video. All right, cool. Okay, so while ago, yeah, I just saw it. I deleted it. Yeah. Ideally, I would say try not to get to that stage where you're sending something and then having to delete it. Just if you made a mistake, just stop, go back, and try again, so that they can't see message deleted because they're like, well, what was that about? Mm. Helping. Name. Probably because 90% of the people that I'm dealing with at the moment use Zoom by default. So there is zero friction. So yes, I pay for the extra one. In fact, I don't even need to at the moment because I'm not doing group sessions. I'm paying for Zoom. I'll have to look at that because I don't need that anymore, not for the time being. But in the last, since COVID, I think I've had one meeting that was on Google Meet with a mortgage advisor. But everyone else is Zoom. Yeah. Yeah, I'm nearly finished. Okay, so it's very similar to, I'll send it to WhatsApp, very similar to what we had before for Amelia. I've just kind of tweaked the beginning to kind of fit with different people. And obviously you can tweak this to what feels more like you or what feels better for you to say to these people. So I've tried to make it as specific as possible without you having to, change the script every single time for each individual person. So, and by that, I mean by saying we had contact a while ago dealing with a property. So obviously you can change that if you want to something that feels better, but because it could be a buyer or a seller, there's only so specific you can go with it. The second paragraph has got some spelling and grammar mistakes, but you get the idea. Yeah. All right, I'll just make some tweaks actually, because I'm thinking it might be quite abrupt to finish a video with how's your schedule looking next week? Shall we book a time? And then you just stop the video. So maybe we'll just say, let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear back from you. Yeah, so again, feel free to make any changes to this. It's just, but you see the structure. It's the same as before. It's like trying to find some kind of common ground, talking about your hook, basically, like how you can help people, and talking about something that you know that they want if they are your ideal client, and then just a call to action. It's really as simple as that. I mean, most businesses want more leads. That's like, it's always, they want more leads in their pipeline. So I feel like that's a pretty good hook. It's a very strong one when you're saying 70 to 100 leads per month. Um, Especially if it's the businesses that, you know, they might not get many leads, but they don't need lots of leads because they have big ticket items or whatever it is, that services that they're offering. So yeah, be really interested to try that. I would aim to do maybe 5 a day. Yeah. Yeah, it needs to still make sense to him. Yeah, you know that's not true, especially if he's been stuck in his ways. And you know, there's so much to these things that people aren't learning every single thing about every single thing in their businesses. There's always potential to improve every business. So yeah, if anything, there's more pressure, I would say, because more than ever, you want him to be happy and him to, you know, see the value in what you're offering. So, um, yeah, just treat it like any normal client. If you're charging full price, then treat it the same way. Yeah, because you just don't want clients that aren't that invested in what you're helping them with. You want people that, see the value in it and they're paying the money because they want that result, and you treat it like that. That value exchange. It's not, oh, I'm doing you a favor or whatever it is. Like, treat it as a business transaction. Yeah, yeah. And this goes not even just for your brother. There might come a point where you'll think, well, this person isn't necessarily for me, and they're not going to necessarily do what I want them to do, or get the result, but I really want the sale. And you'll have that internal conflict of getting the sale versus working with a client that you know is going to succeed, or at least, try their very best to succeed. It goes with everyone. You want to be working with people that want to work with you. Yeah. Because it might mean that you make an extra sale or two by being able to close those people. But what headaches is it going to give you later? Who's to say after a month they're saying, "Oh, I don't. This isn't for me. I want my money back." Do you want to take that chance? So yeah, cool. Okay. So I mean, we could talk about different things you could be doing, but from a workload perspective, and for the next few weeks at least, how does it feel about just doing these 5 videos a day? Yeah. Yeah, so the first place I would start with that is with your warm traffic. So that would be people that have watched your videos, basically. So the way that I would probably approach it is, have you set up that your custom audiences in Google Ads for your YouTube videos? Not AdSense. I mean, so what I'm gonna say is that you could do it as a lead magnet, I suppose, in that way, and do the PDF. Um, I mean, an ad into a PDF might not be worth the time at this stage, because ideally you want something that, when you're running ads, you want something that is higher value on the front, that leads to something higher value on the back, so that you can get a return on your investment on ads relatively quickly. Whereas if you're creating a PDF, then you'll probably have to spend a little bit of time like warming those people up, or you could put in the PDF at the bottom about booking a call with you, whatever it is to. Yeah, but then they're not the ideal client, are they? What kind of PDF were you thinking of putting out there? So you said top 5 things. Like, complete that sentence for me. Yeah, yeah, definitely. It needs to provide value. Mm. What I would probably do is essentially show them your system in, like, not giving them the very specific steps, but showing them like these are the 7 steps of my system. Because in the ad, you would say something to the effect of, "This is the same system that I use to generate 70 to 100 leads, buyer and seller leads every single month." Um, so that they know they're getting a system. Give them the overview of the system and teach them enough so that they can see the value in the different pieces of it, like, um, the Facebook content that you're putting out there, the how to use the groups, whatever it is. But then to get the whole thing and to get it implemented for their businesses, they contact you. So no, I mean, it depends on you really, because I feel like at this point in time, for the next, I don't know, 2 3 weeks, that's just the main focus is sending these 5 videos to your existing contacts every single day. If you've got the time, then you can start to think about creating the PDF. So just going back to what you said about what I suggested with lead ads, what I would do. Have you got your Google Ads account set up at all? Yeah. You don't need to learn it, because I can give you the framework of, I can help you set it up, and I can give you the framework of the ad. Um, and at that point, all you need is the ad, the audience you're going to send that ad to, which is what I was going to help you set up now. But if you don't have ads set up, maybe we can focus on that another time. Um, the ad, the audience you're going to send it to, the landing page with your uh, PDF on it, and to create the PDF, and then some kind of follow up sequence for the email campaign. So this could be to be honest, this could be the start of your core funnel that you just post links to everywhere, essentially. Like you could have the link to that guide in every single one of your videos. You can, if you wanted to, you could even change all the end cards for your existing videos to point to um, that particular thing. So it's going to take time, and maybe we need to focus on this in parts. But the first thing I was going to ask you to do, just to kind of see the potential here, and I'll share my screen to show you. Um, yeah, so the best results that I've had with YouTube ads is basically targeting people that have watched my videos and subscribers. Now you've only got, is it 1,000 subscribers? So that's not a massive number when it comes to running ads. You can definitely try, and you might get some stragglers in there. But what I was going to say is, once you've got ads set up and you've connected your YouTube channel to it, if you go to tools, audience manager, you can set up these audiences So I've got it for, oh wow, that's getting bigger. So that this is my Dan Netting channel, which has only got 250 something subscribers now. But I've got 8,600 people that have watched a video there. So I can now put ads in front of those people. And let me just move this out of the way. I can put ads in front of those people specific to my business. Whereas like Life at Lean, I didn't mark it. Yeah, so Life at Lean, which is my motorcycle channel, is 370,000. So yours would probably be higher than mine, I'm sure. But let's just say that's 10,000 people. You could try running an ad with, $5 a day, just trying to run lead ads where they see an ad, they get an offer to get the, 7 steps to implement the system that you implement, blah, blah, blah. Go to a landing page, download the ebook. At the end of, on the thank you page of the ebook, you give them an option to jump on a call. At the end of the ebook, you give them an option to jump on a call, exactly the same as my system, and I can give you all that stuff to slowly put it together. And then you'll have some kind of follow-up sequence, which again is going to be providing value, maybe sending them to content that you start creating. And then after maybe 4 weeks, then you have 2 emails in a week that just give them an offer to jump on a call with you and all that stuff. So it's just constantly hitting these same beats and constantly putting your offer in front of them, which is to jump on a call and find out how it can work for their business. So it's not that it's going to take some work, but it's not that complicated. So to go way back when you said about me mentioning lead ads, this is what I meant. Running ads to people that have watched your videos and to your subscribers. I don't know why that's only 17,000. It might be a timed thing because I've actually got 60,000 on that channel. Yeah. So running ads to people that are warm, so they know who you are, they've watched your videos, and just test it. You can happily test again $5 a day and just see what happens. And if you start getting leads, I mean, anything under, that might be too low actually. Maybe start it at like $20 a day. And if you're getting leads for like $10, that's pretty good, especially if they're high quality leads that are the booking calls. But it's just something to test. And that's just to answer the question that you asked. That's what I meant. Yeah. So maybe then between now and the next call, I'm thinking maybe we won't have a call in a week to give you some time to just, hammer out these messages and to see what we get to. And then the next one, we can maybe talk about, if what's working is working, maybe you've had some calls, how to improve those. But then we can start to put together the bigger picture of your funnel basically, and how that's going to work to get more organic traffic into it and to give you something to send people to, rather than you having to go out and message people all the time. So essentially creating what I've created with my channel, where they go into a funnel and get a lead magnet, all that stuff. So maybe, what do you think? Do you want to just play it by ear? Or do you want to maybe book one in for a couple of weeks or wait a bit longer? Yep. Yeah. So any questions or anything you want to share with me, feel free to do that, whether it's videos or voice notes or text. it's fine. And I can help you with anything you need to. I'm thinking as well, just to give you another task, because your main tasks is start sending those messages every day, 5 video messages a day to these people. And between now and the next call, just get your Google Ads account set up, learn how to link your YouTube channel to it, and learn how to create your segments. I think they call them on YouTube, not custom audiences is Facebook. I think it's segments on YouTube. Set up your segments and set up for people that have watched your videos and people that have subscribed to your channel. And that gives you 2 audiences to test, just to send, like when we get to the point of creating the other components, which we can do over time. Because what I'd love to see is that the stuff you're doing with the messages, you start to get calls and maybe you even sign a client, and then you don't need to be rushing to do the funnel stuff, and we can just build that together over time. So yeah. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You might be surprised, but the first person might be someone you sign. But I mean, you could go through 10 people and no one signs, but it's just the way it goes sometimes. Cool. So we'll say 2 weeks. But that's kind of what we worked on. So let's go back to it. Yeah, so that's exactly what when you say what you're teaching people, do you mean your clients? I think it was a service delivery. So you sorry, just to clarify, you're not asking what you teach people once they become a client. You're asking how to tell people on a call what you're going to help them with. So in terms of what you're going to help people achieve, what you're going to help people put in place when they become a client, like they've paid you money, they've decided, yes, I want this system in place. This is what you're going to help them do. So before I said it might be worth you going through this list and just starting to expand on the specifics of what these things are going to be, not to share with them on calls because they don't care about oh, I'm going to help you set up your domain in Kartra and all that. So they don't care about that on the call, on the prospecting call. They don't care about that. This is purely for like, once they're a client, this is what you're going to help them with. So maybe just for your own confidence, so that you've got, a list and a system that you're helping people put in place step by step. You just think to yourself, okay, if this is the system that we're helping people put in place at the top here, what are the specific things that I need to do for them so that they can have that system in place? And then just go through these and maybe just, expand on each bullet point that's here, and just think about what the steps are. So again, that you've got the confidence to actually do that. The only question mark that I had around this before was just on the content side of things. Like, how to make lead capture pages, how to create an ebook because you've got help elsewhere. You can use mine as a guide, literally just copy mine if you want to, obviously change it for your material. Email funnels, this is something that you might want to expand on as well, because this isn't something you have in place yourself yet. And then setting up calls and booking. So yeah, the specifics of it, the content strategy, we just said that it's just helping them figure out what content they need to be putting out there consistently and where. So probably not the videos that you're creating, because we know that that's going to take so much time, and just 99% of people aren't going to go to that level with it. So just thinking about what kind of posts they can put up in the Facebook pages and in the Facebook groups to capture people's attention. Yeah, so I would keep it simple. Yes. Yeah. So the biggest question mark in that system is, in terms of what you are going to teach them, is what content strategy are you going to teach them? For me, I would just keep it really simple, where the content will be like, you could use I can't remember what it's called now. Personal, educational, because the other thing to consider here too is, like, maybe that's what we do for the next session. Then because you can do this stuff with your eyes closed, the first steps. Even if you was to get a client in the next 2 weeks before our next call, you're probably not going to be at the stage with that client of teaching them content strategy. So maybe for the next call, then we really go into detail about what content strategy you are going to teach people. One that feels easier to them than doing your YouTube videos, but is still going to be effective and will work for every business that you work with. And then, yeah, later on, because again, like, if you get your first client next week, it's going to take you a number of weeks before you get to the email funnel, for example. So then in the session after that, when we work together, we can talk about the email funnel. And because again, I feel like you've got the lead capture stuff, you know that stuff, you can teach that stuff. It's just figuring out, and this is for you as well, like what a simple email funnel looks like that you can help them implement. Yeah. 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 Yeah, it depends really. It depends what else we want to talk about at the time. But yeah, let's make that a priority for the next call in a couple of weeks. And we'll just see where we are from there. Yeah. Yeah. And you might when you start getting responses, you might decide, oh, I want to tweak how I approach this because of the responses you're getting. It's just all one big massive learning curve. Excellent. Okay, so I'll send you some notes about things to focus on between now and the next session. And I will get the call booked in for the 13th, and we will speak then. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. Yeah, it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see how those first calls go with it. But yeah, don't put too much pressure on yourself with that. This week is just chores. I've got the garden is a mess because I've been away for 4 weeks. So it's like a jungle out there. So I need to sort the garden out and yeah, parenting stuff as well. Yeah, nothing fun. Yeah, sounds good. All right, you too, mate. All right, see ya.